Welcome, one and all, to episode 522 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I'm your neighborhood-friendly Oxhorn here, as always, with suspenders set to maximum stun. Got a great show for you today. As always, we'll do an hour-long Q&A here at the beginning, and then we'll be diving into Bioshock 2. We are towards the end of Bioshock 2. We almost beat the game last week. I was tempted to keep on playing because I was that intrigued with where we were in the plot, and I really wanted to see the ending. But I decided to save it. So we're saving the ending for today. And when we finish it, we'll move on to Minerva's Den, the DLC for Bioshock 2. So lots of wonderful Bioshock story coming tonight. Excited? Excited. I'm excited. We're all excited. Now, cool stuff. Bethesda released the Patch 12 highlights for Fallout 76, and there are a few cool things. Display racks are finally coming to Fallout 76. Long an item in Fallout 4, thanks to what I believe was the Contraptions Workshop DLC. We'll get the pegboards and the display cases, including the bobblehead display and the magazine display. So suddenly the magazines and bobbleheads will become collector's items again. Lots of wonderful things to start collecting and putting in our little camps. And here's something that's really interesting. They're completely redoing the Charleston Capitol building. Not outside, but inside. They're redoing the Charleston Capitol building inside because they felt that the flow of the place was off. And I have to agree. I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, when I was exploring it, I think you can even watch in my live streams, I was getting turned around and confused. And we go there for two different sections of the quest. First, when we're doing the raider portion of the quest, we have to go to a completely different segment. And then when we go back later for the higher level version, the Free States portion of the quest, the problem with that is that when the higher level characters enter the Charleston Capitol building, they cause a bunch of high-leveled Scorch to spawn. When the low-level characters enter, they cause a bunch of low-level characters to spawn. So, yeah, it was a big, hot mess. Now, they're not changing anything related to the quests, the content, and the wonderful DMV-style queue with the robots is just as droll as ever. So none of that's changing. They're just changing the layouts into two different cells to avoid that whole different leveled creatures spawning in issue. Good to see everybody in the chat today. Lots of members. Josh Bunton, Jacob Dorsey, Stephen A, Weird Beard, Ethan H, Ash Malachi. Glad we got a mod in the chat today. How do we get a beard as beautiful as yours, as Kamen Rider Buff? Well, I wish I had the secret. I wish there was a potion you could drink, and suddenly your beard would be as resplendent as the one you see before yourselves today. But the truth is that you just gotta have genetics for it. And when you have genetics for it, you can bolster your beard's appearance with being healthy. Exercise, good diet, protein, good blood flow to the capillaries and the follicles. All right, so that's my scintillating talk about beard growth today. Brian Sanchez says, Oxhorn, how do you like Meat Week? I'm frustrated. I mean, I like it, but I'm frustrated. Here, before I was going to get into this, but before I get into it, let me light something on fire. It's important before I sit down and start complaining, which I inevitably will do, that I set something on fire. Power says, did you hear that Grant Thompson, the guy who created King of Random, died last Monday? I'm ashamed to say that I'm not familiar with King of Random, and I did not hear that news. But it's always sad to hear that somebody beloved by their fans has passed away. Okay. So, first off, Meat Week is great, all right? Can we say that? Meat Week is great. I love Graham. He's hilarious. We needed more of Graham, to be perfectly honest. When Fallout 76 was released, I remember even when I was at Greenbrier playing the game before anyone else was able to play it, I bumped into Graham, and I remember thinking, Graham and Charlie the Moo Moo, this is a great combo. We need to see more of these guys. And then the game released, and there's no quests with him. You know, we don't know where he is all the time. It's random. We bump into him. I thought, I'm a bit of a missed opportunity. Then comes along Meat Week, and we've got Graham and Charlie the Moo Moo. And with this particular seasonal event is a whole bunch of new dialogue with Graham, the walking, talking, living NPC super mutant. He's hilarious. He's lovable. And his meek wheat is great. I even love how they did their best to have Graham embrace vegans and vegetarians. He's like, some human no eat meat. That's okay. Charlie no eat meat, and me love Charlie. It's endearing, right? You know, he loves his pet Brahmin, and the Brahmin doesn't eat meat. And so it's okay for humans to not eat meat too. So it's a, you know, a wholesome event. And, you know, you do it once, it's fun. You do it again, it's all right. Do it a third time, it's getting a bit repetitive, if I'm perfectly honest. Then you got to do it a fourth time. And a fifth. And a sixth. And it never stops. It goes on and on and on, scooping up Charlie's poo, picking up leftover meat and bone bits, harvesting plants for Charlie's salads, making Charlie's feed, picking up logs to stack on the fire, putting out fire that's gone out, and then bashing little critters in the head over and over and over again. Fun once. But I get it, right? It's a seasonal event. You can only do it for a week. And it's an MMO. And repetition is what MMOs are all about. The frustrating thing is that the rewards were pretty good. This was the first seasonal event where I really, really, really wanted the rewards. In particular, I wanted the Tenderizer melee weapon. Because I did not have a good melee weapon at all. I've still got the Gutter, which I believe was a reward for, it was some sort of DLC. The Burrows, was it a reward for the Burrows DLC? It's an interesting weapon. It's not a legendary, but it does have a vampire effect, so as you attack someone, you're healing yourself. Not that strong. It's an Assaultron blade. It's okay. It's been my go-to weapon, but I still don't have a legendary melee weapon, and the weapon that drops from this, the Tenderizer, is a big two-handed sledgehammer. It looks amazing. You can modify it with like a salty and a spicy mod, and it's got a cool effect. And it's a decent weapon. You have the right perks, you have the right mods for it, you can upgrade it and turn it into a great little weapon. And I did this doggone seasonal event for probably 30 times, and I'm not even exaggerating. It only happens once an hour. And I'm a human being. I need sleep, I need to eat, and I'm trying to work. I published 2 Broken Steel videos this week, right? So I haven't been slacking. Last week I did a bunch of live streams, and I published 2 Fallout 2 videos. And while I'm sitting here working on my Broken Steel video, I've got an alarm going so that every hour I log into Fallout 76 so I can participate in this event. I got like 15 to 20 of the plans for those Meat Week flags. I think I got only 2 Tenderizer weapon mods. I've got 5 to 6 of the Black Chef hats, 10 to 15 of the White Chef hats, another 10 of the cooking outfit, and I know my math is off by now. I don't even know how many, but I got so much of this stuff. I never got the Tenderizer. Never got it. And it was really annoying because I stayed up early this morning. I was working on the video that I published early this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. It was the ending to the Broken Steel DLC. A great little ending to that DLC. Had a blast putting it together, but we're not done. I've got a few more things that I'm going to be covering. Even though the primary story of the Broken Steel DLC is over, there are a few loose ends I want to tie up. So we're going to be tackling some of that this week and in the coming week. But anyway, so I worked all night last night. I got the video out. I was rewarding myself by playing a little bit of Fallout 76. And the servers are going down 15 minutes, and the servers gone, and this is the last moment I can do it. They're removing the seasonal event today. I race to the final event as it appears on my map, and I'm the only one there. And I'm frantically running around scooping up Chally the Moo Moo Poop and cleaning up the meat and bone piles and picking the leaves and putting out the fires and making the feed and killing the critters. And I was the only one doing the event. And so for my last opportunity to get the tenderizer, I failed. And I never got it. So now, but I can't complain because I wasn't recording or streaming last night while I was doing this. And while I was playing, somebody gave me 2 legendaries. A legendary instigating Gauss rifle, and a legendary instigating combat shotgun. All right, I had no decent legendary weapons. I had a quadruple ammo capacity Gauss rifle, and that was the only legendary weapon I had. This guy gives me 2, and I took him. I'm like, fine, you know what? He wants to gift me a legendary weapon. I'm going to take it. Fine. So I took it, and I finally have some legendary weapons. So I can't complain. I didn't get my tenderizer, but I got a legendary instigating Gauss rifle, thanks to this very fine gentleman. And I got a legendary instigating combat rifle. Now, I have to get the mods. I crafted a bunch of Gauss rifles this morning to try and scrap them and get some mods. I haven't upgraded them yet. But anyway, so yeah, to answer your question, Brian, it was frustrating. I enjoyed it. It was clever. A lot of goodness, but also frustrating with the grind and all of that. Ryan says, tip for your amazing Graham impression. Love you, Ox. Thank you, Ryan. And then I can't read your name, but he says, hi from Korea. Love your videos. Thank you very much. Good to have you watching all the way from Korea. Toxic says, OMG, that was me. I'm so happy that was really you, Toxic. Toxic Raz, I think that was you. I think I recognize your name. Was that you who gave me the instigating weapons? Yeah. Yeah, those were I had been waiting for a legendary shotgun. And that was my first combat shotgun. And the legendary Gauss rifle I did have wasn't any good. It was just a quadruple ammo capacity Gauss rifle. And so I never used it. So the instigating Gauss rifle you gave me was amazing. It's been very helpful. I can't wait to try them out some more. All right, you know what? I lit my cigar, but what we're lacking here is Scotch. Ox, any new props? Says the Code Gamer. Yes. One moment. All right, this is my latest prop. Pro Snap, right? I mean, it's not really a Pro Snap camera. So one of the cool things about Fallout is that many of the set pieces that they've created for the game. Joey says, earlier in the year, I tried to give you a very nice legendary, but you thought I duped it. I don't believe anyone watching right now would dupe a legendary. But I have been wary to accept legendaries up until this point because I have been concerned that they might have been duped, and I read rumors about Bethesda cracking down on people who had weapons that had been duped. So that's one of the many reasons why I have been not accepting legendary gifts from viewers. But it's been almost a year now since the game's been out. They fixed the duping bug a long time ago. I think most of those are out of circulation. So. Plus, I mean, I've played for almost a year without getting a legendary drop for any of the weapons that I actually use. And I'm frustrated. So I'm very grateful to actually have a legendary weapon that I could use. The Dark Seraph says, how did the Centurions cut their hair with a pair of Caesars? Thank you. We'll move on. Anyway, this is a Brownie Hawkeye, a Kodak Brownie Hawkeye. And I don't remember what year it's from. Let me get the box. Anyway, it's an original. I found it on eBay, and it wasn't expensive. It's not particularly rare. This was like a mass-produced thing at the time or something. But I believe it's from 71 or 69 or something like that. Anyway, it was only like $10 or so. But they modeled the Pro Snap camera that we find in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 off of this. And I found one in decent condition. It was only like 10, 15 bucks. And I got it. And there you go. eBay. Pro Snap camera. Maybe someday I'll find someone who can do a print of the label there. And I can remove the Brownie Hawkeye and place a Pro Snap label on there. But someday. We'll put that on the list to accomplish later. Cheers. New Vegas Rooster says, does it actually work? I haven't tested it, but the listing said that it did work. It didn't come with any film. It didn't come with any batteries. It did come with flash bulbs for the flash. But I haven't had a chance to test it. Anthony says, I had so many good legendary weapons that could have been duped that had the explosive mod back when it was broken, and I couldn't bring myself to dupe. I love Bethesda. I never even learned how to do it. I heard that duping was possible and that it had something to do with vendor inventories, which is why they made it so that only one person can use a vendor at a time, which is annoying as heck, especially if you go to White Springs and you're trying to see if they have mods and you have to wait in line for everybody to finish using the vendor. But yeah, I never learned how they actually did the duping thing. But I think they fixed it. So I'm starting to become less wary about legendaries. I've been going to the legendary vendor at the Berkeley Springs station almost every single time I play, and I'm probably 20 or so different legendary rifles I've gotten, and I've yet to get a Gauss rifle, yet to get a shotgun. I did get a really cool railway rifle, a Hunter's 3-star legendary railway rifle, and it's the only one I've kept, and I've been using it for the Prime Meets events because it's a Hunter's legendary rifle, but the railway spikes are heavy. Man, they're heavy. It's a weird weapon I have to use because you go through the railway spikes pretty quickly. I know you can pick them up after killing an enemy, but sometimes you don't get them back. But they're really heavy, so you can only carry a stack of 200 or 300 and, 1 or 2 Prime Cuts events and you're out. Adrian Parker says, thanks for making my birthday. Can you share any advice to this 18-year-old? Well, happy birthday. Glad you decided to spend it with us. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Advice for an 18-year-old. Enjoy your youth while you have it. There's plenty of time to be worried about the world when you're out of your 20s, right? When you're 18, 19, and you start your 20s, just enjoy that time. Do all of the things that you want to do while you can. And at the same time, it's important to be financially responsible. Because in your 20s, when you're early, right out of high school, starting college, and you start putting a little bit of money into the stock market at that age, if you do it religiously, put it into an IRA, or better yet, put it into an index fund, you're going to thank yourself. You will thank yourself so much when you get to your 30s and your 40s, and especially your 50s and 60s. You will thank yourself. And it's not that big of a sacrifice. 1 coffee a week, put a little bit of money away into an index fund. Start in your 20s. Just start when you're 18, 19, 20s. Just get it done. And when you're young and you don't need a really nice mattress because you're made out of rubber and things can't hurt you, travel. Youth hostels. Just travel cheaply. Do odd jobs every year. Just travel someplace new. These are the things I wish I would have done. I wish I would have saved when I was younger. I wish I would have done more traveling when I was 18, 19 years old. I took a year off out of high school to just sort of, dink around before going into college. And I wish I would have used that time to, travel and just do more adventurous things than, I spent that time writing. Part of my book was written during that time. So I guess I can't say I shouldn't have done that. But travel, man, I wish I would have done more traveling, I guess is what I would say. Vaultmeat says, hey, Oxhorn, love your vids. Played a little Wolfenstein Young Blood last night. Any idea how to stop randomers from jumping in? Play offline. Just when you start the game, play offline. That's what I did when I played for 4 hours, and I never had anybody jump in. Ryder says, starting Fallout 1 and gotta say it's hard. Yeah, it's unusual if you're not used to it. It takes a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to those kinds of games. But once you get the hang of it and you understand the logic behind the rule set, it becomes a little bit easier. Just watch a few tutorials, read a few guides, you'll be good to go. Nookaman says that there's the 1950 Kodak. Oh, is it? Oh. Garfunkel says, hey, Oxhorn, sorry I can't be here long, but just remember that you're the best. Thank you, Garfunkel, for coming on by and giving us a tip. Always good to see ya. Jason says, anyone in chat playing Youngblood? I'm enjoying I enjoyed Youngblood when I played the 4 hours of it that I played. We'll be picking up with Youngblood after I finish either Dishonored to Death of the Outsider or Minerva's Den. Whichever one ends first, that's when we'll pick up with Youngblood. The Dark Seraph says, I yelled cow at a rather large woman on a motorcycle and she gave me the finger, then ran right into a cow. I try so hard to be a good person. Well, you did your best. You did your best. Josh Bunton says, it's been threatening rain all week and it's finally raining. Yeah, I honestly don't mind the rain. I wouldn't mind a little bit of rain, especially around this time of year. Keeps all the dust down. Keeps it from getting too hot. Okay, my cigar has gone out. So, display shelves, display racks. We have that to look forward to. The capital update, and then more caps. So you know how there's currently a 25,000 cap limit in the game. You can't own more than 2,500 caps. Did I say 25,000? It's 2,500. No, did I say 2,500? I mean 25,000. It's 25,000 caps. They're increasing that cap limit to 30,000. So you can store more caps. And then a few bibs and bobs there. I'm really interested in the changes that they're going to be doing to the Capitol building. That's the news that really stood out to me. I know everyone's excited about the display cases, but my camp budget is already expended. So if I get the ability to do display cases, I'm going to have to scrap a bunch of stuff. Just so that I'll have to remake my camp just to fit a display case. Grateful Turtle says, Oxhorn, what brand of scotch do you drink? I drink a variety of brands. It changes from time to time. Right now I am drinking a 10-year-old Glencullen, and it's suiting me just fine. Flavio says, is there any chance in the future of you playing Elder Scrolls Skyrim? There's always a chance, but in this case I'd say the chance is slim to none. It's not something I'm terribly excited about. Kathy Robbins was here. Good to have members here. See you later, Kathy. Vaultmeat says, a tip for my gaming god all the way from the UK. Well, thank you, Vaultmeat. I will be your gaming god if that makes you happy. Keith says, Ox, is the Scotch from Scotland or is it whiskey? It's from Scotland. It's Glencullen, Speyside, single malt Scotch whiskey. Let's see, it should say if it's an Islay or a Speyside. It's a Speyside Scotch. Imported by County Line Distillers. Luke says, hey, Oxhorn, do you do any target shooting? If so, do you have a favorite real-world firearm? I used to do a lot of target practice when I was younger, growing up, but I haven't gone shooting in a long time. No, I don't do a lot of target shooting. Le Epic Gaming Person says, hi, Oxford, I have a question. My brother is 9, and he has headphones with a mic, which are very new. They came today, and he is scared that people will cuss if he uses them. Should he be scared or not? I mean, that's the reality of online gaming, is you're going to find people who just can't control themselves and don't care if you're, a 7-year-old or a 9-year-old. They're just going to say what they can to make you cry and leave. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the game and the community. I don't know what kind of games are out there. My son is 7, and he doesn't do a lot of gaming yet. He games with me. So we'll play Astroneer together. I got him his own Steam account, and we'll play Astroneer together, and it's a whole lot of fun. We do the co-op thing, and he loves it, but that's really the only gaming he does. We still haven't gotten into like multiplayer. We're really concerned about letting him just on the Xbox and live to the world at 7 years old. No. So we haven't looked into all of the games that would be appropriate for kids that age yet, so I'm not sure what's out there. But that's coming. Like he just turned 7. He'll be 10 before I know it, and I'm going to have to figure out exactly what kind of games are going to be appropriate for his age, because I know when I was his age, that's what I was into. Maybe we'll just get him an old school NES or something, and he can play all the games that I played. And Cuphead, I remember, says Rookie. Well, we tried Cuphead, but it's too difficult. So he would watch all of these YouTube shows about Cuphead, and most of them are okay. Some of them are really weird though. Like this was last year, and you could go off into the weird dark places of YouTube and find these animated fan-made Cuphead programs that were really dark, strangely enough. So we kind of put a stop to him watching that. But it got him interested in Cuphead. And so I bought Cuphead and supervised him playing it. And it's a great game. Cuphead's a great game, but it's really hard. It's a little too difficult for him. I mean, it's difficult for me. I can't get through half the levels on the first world map. So, I mean, he's struggling with it. And I can't help him because I'm just not good at gaming. And he'll grow into it. Alan Bluck says, Monday I said you were the new Morgan Freeman. I didn't mean you sound like him, but that the way you tell the stories and your mannerisms, you paint a picture with every word. Still the best. Keep it up. Well, that's very kind. I realized you didn't mean that my voice had the same quality as his, that we sounded alike, but that it had a Morgan Freeman effect on you, which is very kind. Thank you very much. The Dark Seraph says, if you ever take up target shooting again, I recommend a 223 bolt action rifle. They're inexpensive and good to learn with. Thank you. It's something, look, I don't consider myself a novice. It's been a long time since I've gone target practice shooting. But when I could get, 5 shots under the diameter of a dime at 30 yards, which was part of a challenge I was doing at the time. I was doing a number of shooting challenges with some other boys my age. And we were all able to do it. And it was part of the challenge that we did. And then I lost the targets. The targets are at my mom's house, I think. I think that she has all of the memorabilia from when I was a kid. But then after we achieved that, we just never went shooting again. But I think I still know how to shoot. Like hold your breath and trigger discipline and all of that. Yeah. I should probably try it again. Snake King says, I've been watching your videos for a really long time now, and I just want to know, how many videos do you think you've made over the years? Oh, gosh. I don't know. Well, in my old World of Warcraft days, I think I had only made like 52 or 56 or something like that. And then I kind of quasi-retired after that. Those were machinima, so it was much more labor-intensive. It would take me a month sometimes just to get out with one video. The last machinima I made took me years, 2 or 3 years to get done. It was just that time-consuming. But when I started my Fallout content, I was able to whip through it a bit more quickly because I wasn't doing compositing and I didn't have a score crafted for every single video. So, but hundreds, I mean, thousands, at least 1,000. I think there's something like 2,000 or 3,000 videos on my channel. I don't quite remember, but it's been a while. Ethan H says, no, Ox doesn't need to start with a novice gun. He can wield a minigun. Jason says, the Remington 870 Magnum Express, cheapest shotgun for clay target, very reliable and sturdy gun too. This is all great advice. Thank you. Swetlin says, Ox, you could check up on Atom RPG. It's a Russian Fallout game about Soviet Union after the nuclear war. You know what? I feel like I was on the cutting edge of that game because when it was still beta, I saw it pop up on Steam and I snagged it. And I thought, oh man, this is great. It's going to be another isometric over-the-head game like Fallout 1 and 2, inspired by the original Fallouts. And then I got into it and I couldn't get into it. It had a number of issues for me at the time. It was poorly localized. I realized it was the beta at the time, but it was poorly localized. So it was really awkward hearing these characters speak in English when it was really not well-written English. And I felt, to be perfectly fair, I didn't give it a chance. I only played it for about an hour and a half or so. I didn't give it a chance. So it's something to revisit. And I did play it when it was a beta, so it only had like one leveled on. So it deserves revisit. But at the time, and this was years ago, at the time I remember being disappointed. The first level that we got, it was kind of really big, but not in a good way. You know how there are some towns that are big, but they're made really interesting. Each alleyway has its own merchants and interesting nooks and crannies and different things that you can do. This was just a huge rectangle with repeated texture tiles and maybe a tree over there. And I felt like it wasn't very interesting. It's probably changed a lot since then. So maybe I should look it up again. Alan Blanc says, I have been making some Fallout props and wants to know if you have a cap stash or a cap mine. I would send you them if you don't. I actually do have both. You can see them. On the bottom there is my bottle cap mine. I don't know if you can see it right there. This is my explosive shelf. I've got a pulse mine, a fragmentation mine, mini nukes, a bottle cap mine, and then a cap stash right there on the shelf directly above it. You can see it next to the stack of holotapes. Actually, you can't see it because it's blown out by the light. I'll do a video showing off all the props in a bit. Thank you, Josh Bunton. Rob says, how's it going tonight, Ox? What are you working on at the moment? Right now, I am working on my next Fallout 3 video. After having published 2 Fallout 3 videos this week already, I'm working on the next one. If you recall, when we did the video on the presidential metro, there was a holotape that we found that had a sobering, sad, gut-wrenching story. And, well, it's time to follow up with that particular holotape to find out what that story is. we'll be tackling that in my next episode. Stay tuned for Saturday. That's the plan. Because tonight I've got the live stream. Of course, we'll be playing some Bioshock in 30 minutes or so. And then tomorrow I'm going to be playing The Sinking City. And then I'll use the rest of the day after the live stream to finish this video with the plan of publishing it on Saturday. Venna Kavanaugh says, holy moly, I never catch your live streams. Awesome. Waves from the East Coast. Wave back you from the West Coast. We're on opposite sides of the country right now. I'm in Seattle. You're on the East Coast. Good to have you on the program. Jacob D says, how do you Ox like the black checkered shirt tonight? Is that what this is? My wife had enough. I don't buy myself new clothes. I don't. I'm completely content. Before I met my wife, I had a wardrobe of 3 pairs of pants. They were the exact same style. They were a Dickies work slack. And one was gray, and one was black, and one was blue. Those were the only pants that I had. And then I had a variety of polo shirts and shirts like this. And that was my entire wardrobe. After I married my wife, she kind of put a stop to that. She's like, you need to update your outfit. So she bought me some jeans. And so I now wear jeans instead of my Dickies work slacks, which I wore throughout my entire marketing career. So I now wear blue jeans because of her, but she liked the shirts that I had, but all of my shirts were fraying. And then I got so focused on my YouTube channel, and I really leave the house for coffee and to check the mail, and that's it. Because I'm always making a YouTube video. So what's the point in getting new shirts? And finally, my wife had it. All my shirts had cuffs that were unraveling, holes in the elbows there, buttons were missing, and she went on and bought me a bunch of shirts. And a big box shows up at the door a couple weeks ago, and inside is just a stack of probably 7 or 8 brand new shirts like this. And I thought, great, she knew exactly what I wanted. I like these nice long sleeve broadcloth shirts. They just, they don't sit heavily on you. They don't bunch up on you. They're nice and breezy, and they cover everything. They're comfortable. They're really comfortable. And nice cotton, 100% cotton. And she got me a bunch of these, but she picked out all of the styles, and this is one of them. She wanted the black and white, sort of like a window pane kind of look to it. So yeah, if you see me wearing funny shirts or shirts that you haven't seen before, it's because my wife went and bought me a brand new wardrobe. Adrian Parker says, what is your favorite Fallout game that you have played, and what Fallout game is your least favorite game? That's an impossible question to answer. Absolutely impossible. Whenever I get that question, I say that I can't answer it. And the reason is because every single game is great in its own way. It's hard to compare them. Fallout New Vegas is an amazing game. It didn't get as good of Metacritic score as Fallout 3 did. It didn't sell quite as well as Fallout 3 did. It's still an amazing game, right? Fallout 3 is a classic. I don't know if the story is quite as elaborate. I don't think the world building they did is quite as deeply rooted as the world building done for Fallout New Vegas. But you can't deny that the things they invented for Fallout 3, which were then reused in Fallout New Vegas, are amazing. And some of the things and events and battles that happen in Fallout 3 are iconic, right? It's a great game. The same is true for Fallout 4. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite because I can't imagine the Fallout universe without each of those games. The original Fallouts started it all, of course, and they set the tone for the series. But a lot of what I love most about the series evolved from the Bethesda Fallouts, right? And the gameplay that I enjoy most, of course, is from the Bethesda Fallouts and Obsidian's Fallout. So from a gameplay perspective, I really enjoy Fallout 4. I enjoy the gameplay of Fallout 4 more than all of the others. And but the story from Fallout 1 is great as well. Flavio says each Fallout is unique in its own way. This is true. Okay, but what about Fallout Tactics? Well, I can't speak about Fallout Tactics, Lando, because I haven't played it yet. I bought it. It's on my list. After I finish Fallout 2, maybe we'll tackle it on the channel. Felicia says, hello, I love your videos, and my 9-year-old son does too. He keeps asking to watch you live, but he's always in bed. Just wanted to let you know that you're amazing. Well, thank you, Felicia. I mean, be careful. I don't always stream child-friendly content on this channel. I do play mature-rated games, and sometimes they have blood and violence, and sometimes they have swearing. But every now and then, you know, I suppose a little bit's okay. I'm grateful. Thank you very much. What's your least favorite companion in Fallout 4 and why? Probably Strong. I mean, I like the idea of Strong, but I don't feel like he was fleshed out at all. I mean, you get one quest with Strong, and he barely talks during the quest. What was his name? The guy at WMV, the radio station. What was his name? I forget his name. Anyway, he does all the talking, and you finally get Strong as a companion, and he barely says anything. And like the big joke about it is the veiled reference to a Shakespeare play, and all he's doing is looking for the milk of human kindness because he thinks it's going to grant him some power, and that's his shtick. It's his entire personality. And it's a little frustrating, which is incidentally one of the reasons why I haven't done a big character profile video of Strong yet. I did that. I did the video on the milk of human kindness. We talked about the radio station. We talked about the Trinity Tower. But what do you say about Strong? I mean, he's boring. He wants nothing but to become powerful. Rex Goodman. Thank you, Grady. Thank you, Sylvester. Thank you, Lemon Dork Head. And Steven. Okay, everybody is saying Rex. Yes, Rex Goodman was the name of the broadcaster we found at Trinity Tower. But Strong is boring. I mean, he'll talk about, you know, meat and killing bucket heads like all of the other super mutants, and then he'll say something about the strength of human kindness. And even his affinity dialogue conversations are all just about, you strong human. You not like other humans. You better than Hammer. I'm so glad I traveled with you, strong human. All right. Is this what we're doing? Yeah, I should probably do a lore video on him. I haven't done one yet, so maybe I'll sit down and do that. But he's probably my least favorite character. X6 is like dry toast. He has the personality of a bowl of gravy with no salt, if that's even possible. But he's still interesting because he is a window that you can open up to look at the soul of the Institute. That's why he's interesting. We can make a lot of deductions about what the Institute is based on his beliefs. Because who made him believe that way? The Institute. Either that or we have to admit that he's a synth with free will, which the Institute doesn't want to do. So he's interesting in his own way, but Strong is just... Laura says, Ox, man, Fox, that's why we can't have nice things. Fox is great. Like, it's not because Strong's a super mutant. Fox is a super mutant with personality. He's great. I love Fox. Strong was just boring. Yeah. Fist, not Hammer. Oh, was it Fist? Where did I get Hammer from? You're right, it was Fist. Fist was weak. PD World says, Ox, which Fallout is your favorite in regards to lore availability? I personally enjoy New Vegas as it ties into almost all of the Fallout games in some way. Well, I don't know what you mean by lore availability. If you're talking about lore approachability, then I have to admit, when I played New Vegas for the first time, I skimmed over it. It didn't connect with me. And that's because I didn't do any of the DLCs. I only did one of the faction endings. I sided with Yes Man. And that might be part of it because I sided with Yes Man, and his entire ending itself is just really weird. It's basically a cheaper version of the house ending. I talked about that in a different video, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But I missed so much. The game is so dense that there's so much that you can miss, lore-wise. So from an approachability standpoint, I don't know if Fallout New Vegas guides you through the stories in a very efficient way, because it's really easy to miss the best stuff in the game. In Fallout 4, they do a really good job of guiding you through the bulk of the primary story. So in terms of approachability, the ability to play the game, walk away from it having gotten a really good grasp of the story, I thought Fallout 4 was pretty well driven. Now, in terms of the thing that I think Obsidian just knocked out of the ballpark with Fallout 76 is the world building that they did there. And you are right, they tied in to many of the other games. We got to see the Enclave remnants from which was connected directly to Fallout 2. They did a bunch of other connections to Fallout 2. We got to meet the woman who flew the vertibird that crashed in Klamath, of all places, right? And they made references to the Adams Air Force Base on the East Coast. So they did a good job of really bringing everything together. There's a bit of that in Fallout 4, though I think it would be better if there was more of a connection between the East Coast Fallouts and the West Coast Fallouts. But having them separate is also nice in its own way. You know, if Bethesda sat down and started doing a Fallout on the West Coast, man, there would be a certain segment of the fan base. It would just be all over them, you know, saying, "Oh, you're stomping on the grave of Interplay," and "Oh, you're trampling on hallowed ground," or "How dare you trample over these stories?" You know, there would be those people, right? The fact that they took the Fallout universe and moved it to the East Coast, I think showed a lot of respect for the original stories. They wanted those to exist as they were. They wanted to tell the Fallout story in another world, basically, which is why the East Coast is so separate from what happened on the West Coast. So it's almost kind of like talking about two different universes at times. Welcome, new member, Quentin Martin. Good to have you on the program. Quentin says, at karaoke with some friends tonight, gonna sing Big Iron in your honor, Ox. Big iron on his hip. Sounds good. Lucky Babcack says, hey Oxhorn, your props have inspired me to purchase the 1950s Westinghouse desk fan to refurbish. Keep up the great work. I'm going to have to Google that because I've been trying to find a fan that matches what's in Fallout. And that's a good one. See, I've seen these. The problem with this, and if I was handy in any way, I would probably buy this fan and work on it a bit. But the problem with this particular design is the fan blades. If you take a look at the one in Fallout 4, they're almost like paddles. It's really weird. It's probably an inefficient design for moving air. This Westinghouse fan is great because the cage surrounding the fan is almost perfect. It almost perfectly matches the one in Fallout. I think the one in Fallout is a little bit more elaborate with like an 8 design in wire around the cage. This one is almost close. But the blades of the fan in this one are more like wings. The Fallout one, each blade is like a little paddle. It just kind of spins really slowly. And I've tried. I can't find a single fan from that era that had blades that resembled those weird-looking paddles and also was painted that weird teal color. It's a weird color for a fan. Of course, you can always paint a fan any color you want, which is probably what I'll have to end up doing. I'll probably have to do what you're doing right now, which is to buy the Westinghouse fan and then just get a grinder to grind down the blades so that they resemble those paddles, and then sand it down and paint it teal. Then you got yourself a Fallout fan. Well, keep us appraised, Lucky Babcack. I'm eager to see how your project turns out. The Dark Seraph says, I wish I could spare Benny and run with him in his scheme. I don't get why I have to kill him or run him off. I think because he doesn't want to work with you. If you recall, when we meet Benny, we find a number of options to try and talk with him and reason with him, but he betrays you at every step of the way, right? He doesn't want to work with you because he doesn't trust you, because he tried to kill you. He doesn't think that there's a world where a man whom he tried to kill or a woman whom he tried to kill would ever work with him peacefully and side with him. He only ever approaches us to fulfill his vision after his life is over. He knows he's been caught by the Legion. He knows his time on Earth is limited. There's only one shot for his scheme to work, and that's if the courier picks it up. Before that, he's willing to kill you because he wants to do it himself. I mean, Benny is interesting because he does have a pretty good plan, executed poorly. I mean, he dug to the Vault 21 casino, so he dug in completely the wrong direction. But he's also corrupt because he wants to replace House. It's not like he was trying to create an independent wasteland. He kind of wanted to replace House, which is why he responds to the courier the way he does when we meet him in the Tops Casino. Alan Blunk says, the Fallout terminals remind me of the Apple II, which would make a good new prop for your collection. Yeah, the loot crate, the Fallout loot crate came with a mini version of the terminals, and I think this is the Fallout 3 terminal. But yeah, it's a good-looking vintage device. Electronics. I don't know what would be closest to it. I mean, there are so many different consoles. The Apple II, it doesn't have the same sleekness, right? The Apple II is more of a TV sitting on a keyboard, not this built-in... Oh, okay. Well, there's one. So the Apple II PET, the Personal Electronic Terminal, is pretty close. It has a monitor that has this pyramid shape, kind of like that. But still, the keyboard is just... it's weird. It's got a tape deck and a keyboard and a number pad. A miniature keyboard and a number pad. What is going on with that? The 2001 series PET personal computer. What a weird design. Yeah, I mean, I think to find a prop that matched this would be very difficult. It would probably have to be scratch built. Man, what were they thinking? I mean, I guess they thought that tapes would be around for a very long time. A tape reader in a computer. Boggles the mind. All right, where's my scotch? Alan says, lol, not exact, but the closest I've found. It does have a resemblance to it. Sinistra says 1960s Dominion Aqua desk fan. Okay. Yeah, it's got the teal look. That's a strange color. Yeah, it's got that aqua color to it. But again, we've got the blade issue. The blade on these fans, the real ones, are much more practical. Like, they make sense. But the blade in the Fallout universe just wouldn't work in a fan. Which is probably why we don't see it in any real fans that inspired it. Trey Nemo says the tapes is how they used to store data. I suppose, yeah, I suppose they would just... So what, a precursor to a floppy disk? Like a precursor to a 5.5 inch? Yeah, I'm not seeing... Oh... No, I'm not finding a... So, I wonder what they called it. Let's see. Data tape for Apple II. What format used for the cassette tapes? Oh, it just used a standard consumer cassette deck? Huh. Interesting. Alan Bunk says 1950s Chicago electric fan. Paddle fan blades? You're kidding. Really? Well, not according to the images I see. There's one that has... It's closer, but it's not quite the paddle. So these still have the swept wing design, almost like a whale fin. It swoops down like that. Which of course makes sense for the fan, but the Fallout, it's like a boat paddle. It's a straight up boat paddle. The Chicago has a narrower fan, but it's still in that strange fan shape, or the practical fan shape. But yeah, I have seen these on eBay as well. Oh, here's one. Whoa, Swan? Oh, but that's a modern one. Oh, here's one that's very similar. A General Electric. Oh, but it doesn't have a model number. I finally found a fan with the paddles. It's a General Electric. I recognize the name, or the logo. I recognize the logo, but it doesn't have a model number on the unit, so I don't know which one it is. Sorry, I'm getting lost. This is when I'm not making my videos. This is what I get into. I try to find old. I try to replicate the props from the Fallout universe. I finally found a guy. Ooh. USD MX says Robbins and Myers desk fan model 3500. Oh, it's close. I mean, you guys are finding some that are really, really close. But again, so that paddle kind of goes up like that. The Fallout 4 one, it's almost like a straight up and down paddle. The closest I have found so far is this General Electric one. But even it, the paddles are a little wider. And of course, it's not teal, so we'd have to sand it down. Oh, that one. Oh, I see. There's another Robinson Meyer. That one's really close, actually. Good find. Yeah, I mean, it's not the right color. And the cage is a little wrong. That's the problem with this one. So we would have to take the blades off of this one and put it on something with a better cage that more closely resembled the Fallout 4 one. But that blade does look good. Why in Fallout 4 the fan moves, says Alex. That's a good question. Is it plugged in? Is it battery operated? Is it nuclear operated? Or is the fan moving because there's a slight breeze in the dungeon where we find it? I don't know. Why does it move? That's a good question. Error 404, game not found, says the 6JC2000. Yeah, that still has the whale fin type fan. The Wizard Deluxe model. Yeah, I mean, it's a good looking fan, but it's not quite there. Okay, well, enough about vintage fans. I'm having fun, but I think you guys want to see some Bioshock. Ooh, the desktop is like a Commodore PET 8032. Oh, that is close. That's a bit closer. So the monitor part looks more like the Apple II that he showed us earlier, but the design does indeed look like the Commodore PET 8032 in that it's all one solid plastic housing construction with a keyboard. Wow, the keyboard matches almost exactly. With the number pad to the right there, separate. Yeah, that's almost an exact match. It's just the screen itself is a bit big and the housing isn't pyramidal shaped. But it's close. It is pyramidal a little bit, just not quite as much. I mean, that's got a steep gradient there, right? Okay, I got to stop or I'll be doing this all day. Thank you, Justin. Ethan says, remember to turn the music back up. You don't want to miss out on the score. All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's get that going. Bioshock 2. Alan says, vintage Legion Model 901 Fallout 4 fan. Ooh. Yeah, the blades there are a bit better. They still look a bit windswept almost, or swept back. They're not straight like the ones from Fallout 4. But that's closer. Okay. Trying to get it active here. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Now, that's right. We found Eleanor. We put her in a big sister, and we now have the ability to summon Eleanor. Those look like the Predicta model TVs. I tried to buy one, but that ended up being a fiasco. I still want to go through the process of making my Radiation King TV, but that was disappointing. Rookie says, quality content talking about fans. Well, you know, I always try to put the fans first. This isn't about me. This program has always been about the fans. So turned around right now. Okay, I've only got... Oh, man. Oh, I'm so low on everything. Let's see if we can buy some ammo. Spears. Give me some spears. Please, please. Yes. Rivets, that's going to be expensive. I don't use my rivet gun a lot. Let's get some shotgun shells. Those solid slugs are expensive. Sinis says, what happened with the TV? It was really disappointing. I bought the TV. The guy shipped it to me. Came all the way from New York. And the guy shipped it poorly. He had it insured, but when it arrived, it was just broken beyond repair. That's what it was. All right, I know I'm going the wrong way, but... Anyway, the TV arrived broken, completely beyond repair. But he didn't want, even though it was insured, he didn't want to buy a replacement. And so first he tries to find me a cheaper one, but then the one he found for me got taken up by someone else. Then he tried to have it sent to a repair guy. The guy who wanted to repair it said he couldn't because it was missing parts and needed a completely new screen. And then he just gave up. He just wanted to keep my money and didn't care that I didn't get my TV. So I'm still talking with him about it.
You ain't natural.
Whoa! The girls remember you.
All
We
you
all remember.
It's like the Romans. Cunt! Yes, sir. That's it.
Oops, that's Eleanor.
Keep away from my
Subject Delta, I know you can hear me. You have stolen my life's work, and with it, my only daughter. But Rapture is the house of monsters. The surface will not have us. And now, we shall be buried as a family, side by side.
Oh God, she's going to drop this building into the trench. It's miles deep. We have to find Sinclair.
This one's mine. Who's next?
Okay, so that's where Eleanor was. I'm already getting low on spear ammunition. Let's switch to my shotgun. There's where Sophia Lamb was. Let's head that way. Oh, right, it's open. Oh! Yeah, I gotta turn that off or I'll be demonetized.
Upstairs, Father, quickly.
Whoa, where's she going? Behind the walls lies perfection. Why are you running? I want to explore. Okay, fine.
This is Sinclair's lifeboat, Father. Out the window here. It's our only chance of escape. From what I know of Sinclair, he wouldn't just abandon it.
Yes, Delta. What of Sinclair? The man who would sell paradise. And where is he now?
Warning. A security curfew is now in effect. All cells and bulkheads are sealed until further notice.
This facility hangs over an ocean trench delta. The family has activated timed charges within its foundations. Surrender before detonation, or we shall fall and be crushed in the abyss below.
Come on.
Mother has locked all of Persephone down, including the gangway leading to the lifeboat. We can reverse it from the holding wing if we hurry. Come on! Use the plasmid if you need me, Father. I'm going to have a look around.
Yeah! Hey, bolt from on high! Oh! Save me, oh no!
Where'd he go?
This is an emergency. Subject Delta has escaped. Eleanor Lamb has turned on her own people. Stand and fight, or the Rapture family falls together.
Doggone it.
King of Kings, Lord.
I can't use this one. That's right. We crashed last time because of it. See if I can get that. Actually, I wonder if I can buy some auto hack darts. Nope, that's the way I came.
I saw the heavens open. I saw them open. Oh, the beauty of the revelation.
I do hear a machine somewhere. Oh, but it's going to be upstairs, won't it? Oh.
Welcome to the Circus of Value. No refund, no return.
Leave me alone.
There we go. Ah!
Fight to it! God in heaven, stop! This
Okay. We're okay. Got a first aid kit. Now, let's see. You may want to use Eleanor whenever you can. She's pretty powerful. Yeah, but how long does she stick around? I mean, will I have to summon her for every battle? Okay. Infirmary. Holding. Therapy. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I also don't want to miss something. Let's go to docking. Okay, that's locked. That's locked. We'll just check them all. Also locked. One way forward.
Warning. Ballast reservoir is full. Reservoir must be vented prior to launch.
Oh, well, that's why they gave me some auto hack darts. Did I not open the door? Oh, that's the door. I gotta go around. Alright. Shotgun. I should probably use my rivets.
We have to get you out of Rapture, Father. It's the only way I can save you now.
Lamp knows the way. Awesome Brownie Hawkeye. I collect the Moxes, J. Ogden. Thank you, J. Ogden. I didn't know.
Beginning admission sequence.
Don't you recognize Sinclair, Delta? Now he is what you should have been. One final Alpha series, ready to die for the family. As Persephone's former owner, he is the ideal man to put you back in your cage.
Mother's controlling Sinclair, Father, and he's got the master key. Catch him!
Whoops.
Kid, lamb's in my head. I can't help myself. I have to fight just to talk. Left me my goddamn tongue to torture the bomb codes out of me. She wants me to stop you leaving. I'm sorry.
Got it.
This one died alone and afraid. Stand in our way, and you'll get the same.
Oh man, she's pretty. She's pretty tough. Okay.
I'll send you a postcard. Stay away from my father. Who's next?
rotten food over here. Yuck. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Creepy. Alright, that's where we need to go. Let's finish looting first. How long does she stick with us? Until she takes too much damage? Move it, Joby. Move it, Eleanor. Oh my god. Having companions is always a brutal thing in games like this. Come on, move! Oh my god, move! Thank you.
This place is the absolute definition of despair. Here we are, locked away from the outside world, suspended over a pit with no hope of release. And what's our charge? Ryan has no room for differences of opinion in his precious rapture. I hope the whole place comes crashing down around his ears.
Whoops, I drank too much booze. Ethan H. says Delta is dying because the bond was broken when Eleanor's heart stopped, just in case you forgot. Ah. Thank you. That explains it. Oh, she left. She'll only fight for a limited time.
Santa Cohen, there was a man. Sharp suit, good mustache, no gun. Are you fucking serious?
Done and dusted, Father.
No one ever gets any.
That's right, and I got a bunch of new powers in my last live stream too that I need to toy with. Including, let's try that.
Eleanor, I know you can hear me. I am inside Sinclair's lifeboat now. Delta cannot reach me here, but you can. You need not die with him. We shall return to the surface together, if you will only step inside and accept your duty. Remember, Eleanor, Mummy loves you.
Ah, yes. Mother's testing me. One last game. Fortunately, by now, I'm the world's foremost expert at breaking her rules. I've made my choice, Father, and if needs be, I'll die for it.
All right, a whole lot going on while I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my... How do I leave Scout?
Do that, I still serve.
How do I leave Scout? That's the problem with Scout is I can't loot anything, can I?
I'll send you a postcard from
Oh, okay, so you automatically go back. Oh, she was a prisoner. Whoops. There's the music. Bad things are about to happen.
sorry. I've locked you in here. Lamb's making me dance on her goddamn strings. I can't stop. You're gonna have to break in here and put me down. Wish there was another way, but I'd rather die a man than live like this.
God, he's right, Father. Mother's betting you'll die in here, or that I'll abandon you before the bombs detonate. We can't save Sinclair now. We need that key from him. Find the code to the watchtower, or work out a way to draw him out.
Okay, well, let's go down here first. Oh, I can't go in there. Oh! Oh, that's awful. Elemental Vampire. Sometimes you want more than to just watch your enemies burn alive. Sometimes you want to steal their precious life force too. Elemental Vampire makes that possible. Give and you shall receive. Pretty cool. I like that a lot. Where shall we put it? Cure-all.
Might as well call me an Undertaker.
Son, I built this place and I did rent you out to those plasmid trials up at Fontaine. And now I'm paying for it. Wish I had time to make amends. Take the lifeboat, it's all yours. Just don't leave me like this.
So it's bringing me back? Oh, this was a dead end. Alright, well, I'm glad I came down here because I got the vampire plasmid. Repugnant says, have you ever had Walker Blue? If so, what are your thoughts? I have had Walker Blue, Johnny Walker Blue, and it was good. I'm not really picky when it comes to scotches. Oh dear. All right, I hear.
Plucked the fruits from the tree of life, and it was our curse. Go on!
Where was it?
Free will, Delta. Eleanor's gift to you. And with each decision, you twisted her into your own image. Sinclair has no such choice. Yet in its absence, he serves the world unerringly. He is now the better man.
Where's the camera?
What's going on?
Oh, I see it. There we go.
Death can be no more. She promise. If the land promise, death shall be no more.
What?
I caught a glimpse of the warden entering the code to the tower today. Last 2 digits were 7 and 3. Didn't catch the rest. Maybe I can just figure it out, trial and error. Wonder how long that'd take.
This place is the absolute definition of despair. Here we are, locked away from the outside world, suspended over a pit with no hope of release. And what's our charge? Ryan has no room for differences of opinion in his precious rapture. I hope the whole place comes crashing down around his ears.
Maintenance tunnel, yes. I remember. That could get you near enough to lure me out. Try it, kid. Hurry.
New goal, find the maintenance tunnel. Okay.
I heard the altar saying, "Save me, O Lord!" The number, the mark is upon. Run!
So I could jump up here, right? Or not? Ah.
You're in the tunnel. Ought to give you some kind of jump on me. I hope.
Oh, I lost it. It fell between the cracks. Okay.
Do you not see, Delta? You were a thing of beauty when first we met. Non-conscious, yet utterly vital to your city. The flaw was only in your master's intent. It is an error we have corrected in Sinclair. He is bonded to the entire family.
Death shall be no more.
Okay, how do I get through? What am I doing wrong?
Sinclair is moving, Father. Track him down. We need that key.
So long, kid.
Sinclair is dead, Father. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you were close.
Not
when
really.
you're ready, take the key. Now, Father, I'm afraid that ending the lockdown means releasing all the prisoners. So please, be ready before you use that key on the override switch.
Gotcha.
Lamb's attention seems to have drifted from my prisoners to her daughter. Guess she figures they're irredeemable. Now I got guys clamoring for the next fix of Adam, and I've got to pull teeth to squeeze any out of the good doctor. Guess I'm lucky her treatments kept them too weak to storm the tower, or they'd have my guts for garters.
Okay, let's do the cluster bomb upgrade. Let's do a hard save here. I have a feeling I'll probably be back.
Override engaged. Ending security curfew. Sealing security office temporarily.
Sinclair died a hero of the Rapture family, Delta. Was he a friend to you, or just a tool? Can you even grasp the difference? And Eleanor, you have chosen Subject Delta over your mother, your people, and the duty of your birth. So be it. You believe this craft will carry Delta to safety, like a spoilt child with a new toy. I have no choice but to take it away.
Curfew lifted. All cell blocks open. All bulkhead seals released.
Oh no. Mother's turned her attention to the lifeboat. We must go there, now!
Come on, come to my trap, you guys. Any more? There's a new Big Daddy in the new DLC, says Angel. Thank you, Angel.
Run back to Mother. Who's next?
Every moment tears Eleanor further from me, Delta. Soon, this father obsession will end her. You have left me without want. Before you die, I will take all that you hold dear. Sinclair is just another body in your wake.
Yeah. I'm glad I hacked that. Alright, is there any Eve lying around that I missed earlier? No?
Welcome to the circus of value. No refund, no return.
Tell Mother I'm coming for her!
What was down here? We didn't go down here, did we? No, we didn't. Stuff I should have gotten a while ago.
Looks like Sinclair's been ousted. He wasn't slick enough to avoid the boot this time. But at least it wasn't a firing squad. Lamb proved she's got the ear of the general population down here. So it'd probably be prudent to play along for a while. See where this goes. She says she'll let me keep my little fiefdom here in holding, as long as I agree to help supply her therapy sessions. No qualms there. These sorry buggers could use some rehabilitation.
I was afraid of this. Mother has bombed out the ballast compressors, Father. The lifeboat will be too heavy to launch. Unless... Let me think. I think I can boil away the water and get the lifeboat to rise, but I can't generate that much heat alone. It's time to recruit the rest of Mother's little sisters. We're taking them with us. Head to the pediatric wards.
Ah, okay. So therapy, infirmary. Looks like we're going to therapy. You have a multi-part goal. Press M and go to the goal tab to see all parts of the goal and switch which one is active. The arrow and map will guide you to your active goal. Find the pediatric ward. All right, let's stick with this for now. Docking tunnel.
I won't let her take you from me again, Father. Hold on.
Well, I don't know how to feel about Sinclair. His death seemed pretty anticlimactic. I'm guessing that's not the end. That's my guess. Also, he died with everybody thinking he was a good guy. I got the impression during all of this gameplay, frankly, that he was far from a good guy. He was, in fact, self-serving. So the idea that he would sacrifice himself, I'm not buying it. I could be completely wrong. We'll see. Okay. Someone's trying to play ball with me. Fine.
This is not a sermon. I will offer no insight. Every word I speak, you already know.
Okay, there's a camera around here somewhere. We will be reborn.
walk in the valley of the shadow of death.
Mother's people are starting to detonate the charges. We don't have long.
Oh, electrotherapy.
He raised me not to echo him, but to model the world as it ought to be. I was to teach.
Name?
Where am I?
Name.
What the fuck did you do with my wife?
Name.
Let me out of this chair!
And would laugh without smiling.
Okay, we're okay.
Utopia. Said aloud, it evokes heaven on earth. Yet the word means both good place and no place. An ideal, unreachable. Even in the naming of it, we refuse to believe. And yet,
We're almost to the pediatric ward. I expect we'll be fighting our way inside.
no matter how much we have. It is among the grandest of human ironies that our very drive to find utopia has kept us from abiding there.
Pediatric ward.
Hello, Mother. As you've always said, I shouldn't be allowed to wander the city in my condition. But without going outside, it's harder to hear much about the world, so I'm learning at home. This, I think, is a porcelain tea service in the style of Louis XV. Isn't that right?
Uh-oh.
That's a fascinating sound. And this is called a stained glass window, handcrafted by your adoring flock. They've gone to a lot of trouble to capture your likeness, haven't they?
Okay. Eleanor, going off the deep end here.
When you've cleared them out, I'll need a signal. Push the call button on the window there, and then I'll proceed.
Okay. I thought I heard an alarm, though.
Not worthy of a lamb! No! Unbelievable! Back to the shadow! These are the wages of sin!
There it is. right. Let's load up what we can. Can't get through there. Alan says, Ox, my OCD has no limits. I found the Fallout terminal and the desk fan. I'll send it to your Twitter. Thank you, Alan. That's great. I think you and I are men who think alike, because we both have OCD on this particular topic. I can't wait to see what you found. Okay. Oh, I can go that way? Oh no, there she is. I'll do the call button in a minute.
I'll wake the children up. They're stronger than they know. With their help, I should be able to boil off the water and get us all out of here.
Save, Ox,
Go on
they say.
ahead, Father. I'll free them as quickly as I can, just as you showed me.
Okay. Quick save. Oh.
You are not saving them, Delta. No matter how pure your intent. The surface is not paradise, but perdition. I would sooner see them drown.
Golly, this person.
Think I will smile and act as such. Congratulations. You have just experienced the illusion of free will. Now think, I will never become angry again and act as such. The illusion begins to break down. Your genes have no objection to an empty smile, but anger to the gene is part of the program. I submit the following conclusion.
Look, Father, I know you may not have wanted a daughter, but love is just a chemical. We give it meaning by choice. I will be damned if I let Mother take you away from me again.
Neo No One says, hey, Ox, love your videos. Just want to say hi. Got to go back to work now. I am finishing my lunch break. Bye. Well, thanks for stopping by. And good luck at work.
The plasmid, Father. Just point the way and I'll help you fight.
I am not one.
infirmary now?
What's that, Father? Teach them about fire. Well, if you insist.
That's another charge gone. We have to keep moving. If this building falls, we're all dead.
I'm a
Thanks. We're on the same side. Now what? This one died alone and afraid. Stand in our way.
Eleanor's freaking me out. This girl is freaking me out. She's enjoying this way too much. And look at her go.
This is not a sermon. I will offer no insight. Every word I speak, you already know.
Castiel says someone
My
give
father was a physician. He raised
someone
me
give
not
Ox
to
the
echo him,
weapon he wants. No,
but to
no,
model
that's
the
not why I'm
world
talking
as it
about the
ought to
broadcast.
be. I was to teach a simple moral calculus.
Besides, I don't think you can. I think
Each
it's down to
choice
your character.
as though the world must bear it.
At least the black
Each
hat.
life or death for the common good. He called it the triage imperative, and would laugh without smiling.
All right. Lots of new spears.
Eleanor was to be a composite of all Rapture's genius. The first living utopian, serving the world at large with no regard for herself. To force consciousness on such a being is to tear its wings away. That was your gift to her, Delta. Just as she hoped. You must be very proud.
Forcing consciousness on a being, right? Because that's how consciousness works.
Delta was in top form today. The guards tried to make him take another dose of whatever the hell it is they're pumping into him, and he managed to take on all 4 of them at once. Snapping legs and arms, blood everywhere. They say one of the guys might not even wake up. I wish I could be that free.
Okay, this music is going to get me demonetized. Let me turn it down real quick. I'll turn it back up in a minute. I feel really bad about killing that prisoner at the beginning. I didn't realize it was non-hostile. It looked like every other splicer. Okay, now I can turn the audio back up.
Steady, Father. Don't let go now.
Don't you wake up!
Splicers.
Yes, I help you. Sometimes they wake up. I will not lose another patient! Why? Whatever.
Love this harpoon gun. He killed all his patients. Oh no. Hello.
You're no Messiah. Come 600.
Okay, so I've been here. Man, these alpha series are pretty brutal. Hello. We will be reborn. Ooh. Am I going the wrong way? But I don't recognize any of this. Oh, okay, so I came from there. Wait a minute. I came from here. Right, that's the door I opened. Okay. So I need to go up there. Well, what's over here? Doggone it! Where's bot shutdown? Lots of bots shut down. Okay, let's try that again. This time not die quite so... or not fail so much. There we go. I see that button on the wall. I'm going to get back to that in just a minute.
Guess I had the wrong of it when it came to Dr. Lamb. She explained how my cravings for control were rotting me out from the inside. We found all these incidents in my log where I made it easy for a convict to get the jump on me, just so I could bloody punish him. Christ. But I believe I can do some good down here now, with the family. Well, we have a shot at surviving that fucking bedlam going on up there. Maybe even take the city back.
All right, well, I'm running out of things to upgrade. Machine gun. Even though I'm not going to use it because it's going to crash my game if I do. What is that weird noise? Alright, I know that if I push this button, they're going to come rushing out. Lots of first aid kits waiting for me. Let's quick save. Nice. Oh! You leave my turret alone, man. So I'm stocked up on money as well? Okay, I guess I better find a vending machine. I need to start using my explosives more often. I'm stocked up on them too. Alright, well with this looted, we've got one path left. Upstairs. Uh-oh. There's another one in there. Man, those Houdini splicers. Golly.
Now, one of the girls managed to dart past the nurse today and throw herself over the railing in the lobby. Not certain if she was trying to end her own life or merely escape. But either way, her legs had healed by the time I managed to get down to the first floor where she lay.
What?
Now, without proper setting, the rapid healing process had fused her bones back together at odd angles. We had to re-break and set them almost a dozen times, each due to the small window of viability. Now, those children may be immortal, but I can verify they feel pain. Advising Dr. Lamb on higher doses of sedatives to keep this from happening again.
Oh, that's awful. Yay, more remote hack knocks. Darts. The ending is awesome, says Angel Jaramillo. Thank you, Angel. I'm excited to see it. Well, I thought we'd get to Minerva's Den by the end of the day, but I suppose that's not true.
Who is it? Rat! Bastard!
So that's what I get for successfully hacking a safe? A respawn?
666.
Well, I'll have to remember that. No thanks.
Move around. Huh? They can't lay
So what happens whenever I look in that safe? Did you notice that?
Hold them down, lads. Where you go?
Okay, we can go down. What? Well, great.
all, you sinners.
Didn't mean to do that. Back up we go. Autopsy.
Welcome to the Circus of Value. No refund, no return.
Autopsy. Oh my god.
My first incarnation when Dr. Lamb gave me my mandate to alleviate pain was to block its neural pathways. Now, the preliminary results were promising too, until some of the children started chewing their own tongues off out of ignorance. Need to sequester them away from the others so as not to cause undue stress on the remaining subjects.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Chewing their own tongues off? Come on. Oh.
We're nearing another pediatric ward. It will be guarded, Father. Get ready.
Did you see that spear? It bounced back. So we gotta... I'm switching to rocket spear. Ooh. Oh. Maybe. Oh, creepy. Okay. Quick save. Tri-World says, are you using the bloody mess perk for broken steel? Yes, I am.
When you've cleared them out, I'll need a signal like before. Push the call button and I'll proceed.
Children from us?
Sweet. Let's get as many spears back as I can, because those are wonderful. I think I used almost all of them up in that battle. I know I used my rocket spears up. There's another one. Okay, switch to my spear gun, which is just tearing it up. I think this map was designed for me to use all of it for that battle, but I just stayed there at the entrance and they came to me.
I think... Yes, we're ready for the ballast tank. I can boil off the water and get us out of here. We must return to the docking platform, Father, now.
Why the sad music? Is something sad about to happen? I don't want something sad to happen. Come on.
You granted Eleanor the will to choose. And now, like a plague, she spreads it to those innocents. To be self-aware is a curse, Delta. You are damning them.
Okay.
I'm stepping inside the ballast tank, Father. Come up to the glass once you're ready for me to begin. There's no going back once we start.
You would rip my only daughter from her home and family and feed her to a world without hope. Though Utopia may die with her, I would sooner see us fall. Goodbye, Eleanor. Mother will be waiting for you.
Here they come, Father! Hold them off until I can bring it to a boil.
Flush you out!
Nearly boiling.
Wear the mark on the beast.
It's boiling! I can help you fight back now. Use the plasmid. The ballast water is gone. Release the docking mechanism.
Okay.
The elevator to the lifeboat is flooded, Father. We have to equalize the pressure in here or the door won't open. Destroy those glass tubes to flood the room.
Finger break. Ah! Shoot the tubes, everyone says. Okay.
done it, Father. We're launching. Get to the elevator.
Okay. I'm alive? Okay, I'm alive. Oh, all the prisoners. We killed them.
The bombs, Father! We're falling! Run! And then, Father, the rapture dream was over. You taught me that evil is just a word. Under the skin, it's simple pain. For you, mercy was victory. You sacrificed, you endured, and when given the chance, you forgave. Always. Mother believed this world was irredeemable, but she was wrong, Father. We are Utopia, you and I, and in forgiving, we left the door open for her.
We saved her?
The rapture dream is over, but in waking, I am reborn. This world is not ready for me, yet here I am. It would be so easy to misjudge them. You are my conscience, Father, and I need you to guide me. You will always be with me now, Father. Your memories, your drives. And when I need you, you'll be there on my shoulder, whispering.
I died? I know, but I live on in Eleanor. The little sisters.
If Utopia is not a place, but a people, then we must choose carefully, for the world is about to change. And in our story, rapture was just the beginning.
So she killed me. That's the end. I die. Okay. Well, we did it. I am curious about the other endings. Dirty Bird says, would be great if we could start Infinite next week, but I haven't done Minerva's Den yet. Well, that ending took far longer than I thought. I thought when I logged off last week that I was like one battle away from the end, but it turns out we were an entire level away. So I'm not going to be moving on to Minerva's Den tonight. We'll save Minerva's Den for next week. I'm assuming Minerva's Den is a story-driven mini game like this, right? It's not just challenges and all of that. If it's story-driven, then I want to play it so I understand that story before we move on to Bioshock Infinite. After this, I'm going to have to Google the neutral and evil endings to this game just to find out exactly what happened. Christian says, I believe Delta died due to his body already in shutdown after Link was cut. Then the rate of ascent you made when you escaped caused a fatal case of the bends. I mean, there is always the bends. Games like this tend to forget about the bends. We've been playing The Sinking City, and we've been doing a lot of deep-sea diving, and the character has never caught the bends. So I think games kind of forget about that. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that disconnect when Eleanor's heart stopped caused shutdown mode in Delta, which is why he died. But she sucked out his life energy and memories or something, so we live on in her. All right, well, there we go. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream. And that's really, really loud and distracting music. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 522, and Bioshock 2. We finished it on up. Next week, we'll start Minerva's Den, same Ox time, same Ox channel, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time here on the program. You don't die in the neutral ending, says Alex. Really? What? Okay. Well, we'll check it out. I'm curious to find out which of these endings is canonical, but I'll Google those later and see if I can find them. Tomorrow morning, The Sinking City, 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, a good 4-hour-long live stream. And then this weekend, another Fallout 3 video. We'll be tackling some of the leftover stories, little loose ends to tie up from the Broken Steel DLC. And then one video at least. Maybe two, depending on the amount of time that I have. But thank you all for joining. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad I've been able to play the Bioshock games again. I played Bioshock 1. I streamed it live on this program about a year ago, probably longer than a year ago. So it was good to revisit the Bioshock franchise for this broadcast. And we'll pick up right here where we leave off next week. Have a wonderful Thursday night. I hope you have a wonderful rest. Keep rested. I'm going to keep rested. I'm going to get a lot of good sleep tonight. Be kind to absolutely everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for a live stream of The Sinking City. Have a good one.